So I'm playing SimCity right now, and I always think it'd be interesting to talk more about this game. So what I do here is I build a city, and you kind of learn a lot about what you got to do to be successful. So the first thing you do when you build a city is you have to have the right infrastructure. You might see here they complain about taxes, and they will do that, and supposedly if you have lower taxes, more people come in. But I mean, look down here. People want to move here. The residential demand is up. They're gonna come here and they're gonna pay high taxes because the city is so good. They just don't care. Like the people are happy here. Holiday honor of the mayor. But they're always gonna complain about the taxes. You just gotta ignore them. You got all these advisors here. They sometimes give good advice, but you just kind of gotta do your own thing because they don't really know what's going on. They haven't played this game for years like I have. Alright, so you gotta have power plants, and they start with, like coal and nuclear, but you eventually move on to fusion power, and it gets invented, and it produces a lot of power. You gotta have a dump, and you want to have a big dump because you're not only gonna do your trash, you're gonna also take care of your neighboring city's trash. So you gotta recycle centers, and what you do is you burn it up. Yes, it makes pollution, but it's all on the corner of the map, so it doesn't bug to where the people live, which is in other areas of the city. Let's see here. This guy's offering me garbage. That means my garbage. That's a sign that my garbage situation is getting out of control. But I'll build more infrastructure later. But you can see. Let's see. Where's my neighbor deals? See, they give me trash, and then I get paid all this money to do it. You look at the finances. Let's see, income. I get money from neighbor deal. Let's see, 18,000 a month because I take his trash. And I have business deals. And what are the business deals? We have to build buildings in your city that are undesirable buildings, but they make you money. I build these very early in the city to finance it. Toxic waste conversion plant. It's a horrible building that makes a lot of pollution and pollutes the water. But if you build it, you get all this extra money. Now, how do you get around the damage it does? Well, you build it in the corners, so most of the pollution's going off the map. It's only in this area. Then you get a water treatment plant. Oh, it's deceased, but we gotta get a new one. Get a water treatment plant, and because you're getting that money, you can get a water treatment plant even though it's expensive, and then all the water's clean. Then you have other undesirable buildings. You get a maximum security prison. This is where they put the really bad people, and you put it in your city, it brings down land value, but you build it in a corner of the city where no one gives a crap. They'll put all the other jails over here. Right now they're pretty empty because the crime isn't too bad. Casino Row. You get money from them. It creates crime, but it brings in money. And then you have the Giga Mall. The Giga Mall does this thing where it drags down your commercial demand. But, when you build your city big enough, you overcome that. And then, this one also brings down industrial demand. So what you got to do is you're not going to get industry. Well, you'll get a few things in your city, but you're not really going to get industry or commercial demand very good until you build things that make the city desirable. If you build seaports, you will attract people. You will attract industry to your city. So let's look here. I have seaports here. I have some on the coast here. And I have more of them elsewhere. They're all over the place. You got to get seaports. Because that means anyone who makes their stuff here, I build my factory section here. To get them here, to get all these industry people to move in, I had to build this, but I also have to connect them by rail. And then the rail connects to, the seaports. They connect to neighboring cities in various spots, like over here. You got to have the infrastructure. People have to be able to make their products, and they have to be able to send them on a rail or into a seaport and ship them away. that'll bring the industry to your city. And if you want clean industry, like there's an auto plant, that one's sort of like on the cleaner side and warehouse. But if you want like Agate Marble or Software Studio, or there's a Sim Mars Incorporated that sometimes appears here. I don't see it in my... Oh, there's one right there. If you want to get those kind of things into your city, you got to educate your citizens. To do that, you got to have schools. And apparently I don't have enough schools. I'm going to have to build more here in the middle of the video. But you got to have libraries, you got to have colleges, you gotta look at your student numbers. And the numbers get too big, you got to build more. Now, then you got to have museums to keep people smart as they get older. And then you got libraries also to keep people smart. And then once you get your citizens smart enough, you will get good industries in your city. Let's see, this is a residential area, I'll talk more about that later, but I put all the education buildings in between the industry and residential zones because nobody wants to really live next to factories. Now, early in the city you'll have polluting factories, but you get cleaner stuff here when you build your city up, which is where I'm at. So then, we're going to go over here. When you get your city smart enough, a university will get built in your city, and that improves the citizens' I think they call it EQ, education equivalent, more. And this is good, this is good for your city here. And then when you get EQ even higher, you get a science center. If you get a science center, what'll happen is it'll raise your commercial demand. Because in the beginning, you'll see down here this little chart. Residential, commercial, and industry. You're going to have 50% is going to be residential, and then the other 50% is going to be where they get the jobs at. In the beginning, it's going to be 40% industrial, 10% commercial, but by the end of your city, it's 40% commercial, 10% industrial. So, you got to get the factors out of the way. Early on, I build farms near the edge. That counts as industrial, and what the industrial zones do, that one's clean. You got to enable the farmers market to get them to build, and you got to have the right conditions provided. I got to build more. Of course, you got to have running water in your city. They won't develop good buildings without water. I got to replace some old water pumps. Let me just get them up real quick. There. Now we got running water. You have power plants and water, a place for people to put the garbage. Then you gotta have roads connecting everything. As you can see, everything's, got roads, and I got highways in various areas too. Sometimes you get parks to build. Now, farms are a type of industry, and they're clean, and I build them at the edge, and I build them next to like suburb areas. Makes them nice. I have them all over here. They make a good edge of the map. There's low land value at the edge, and it's not very polluted. Then you have residential, and to have a good residential neighborhood, you got to have a few parks to support it. Like I have a pond, you have a playground, you got to have a ballpark. Okay, so it's my camera cut out, but here we are now. So let's see. It says I got plenty of hospitals. I got still bitching about taxes, but that's just a given. They're always going to do that, but your city's always going to grow, so you just got to ignore them. So I got highways. You got to have highways to get. If you connect to highways, it builds up the commercial demand. You want to have more commercial buildings. Commercial buildings, they start off as stores. You can get skyscrapers once you know what you're doing. Like you have like little insurance offices. Sometimes like gas stations or food places will appear. But you'll get big buildings. Now, of course. Then what else is there? And of course, to get around in these cities, you gotta have rails. I have a big subway system underneath my residential and my commercial zones, and then this means it goes to land and it gets over to there. And oh shit! All right, hold on. I epic failed here. All these subway stations going to nothing. There, now it works. The city's not broken anymore. It's because they just built these neighborhoods. Okay, so the neighborhoods, you need parks, in a dense area you need buses, and you need subways, or else your city's going to be full of traffic. And you're going to need highways connecting your whole city. This is going to be more commercial later, but right now the demand's not there. And I need to eventually get another residential zone built because people want to move here, and well, I can't. I don't have enough zones. Housing's expensive. You get skyscrapers, but only if your city gets big enough to handle them. You gotta have the commercial demand. Demand value's gotta be really high. I'm surprised that one's only on high. Some places are astronomical land value like that. And then you also gotta have other things like airports. Airports build up your commercial demand because people fly in, they want to go see things. You connect roads to the edge, that's touristy things like the highways and things like this. Like I could connect to that neighbor. I got the money now because, you know, I got $4 million. Now everything's cheaper in this game, so I mean, it's nothing in real life, but you know, it's a game. So, what else do we have here? We got a few special buildings, like if you build a military base, it does bring some problems, but it brings a defense contractor in there. You get that, it gives you the ability, it raises your commercial demand, so you don't have to build as much industrial. This also raises commercial demand, so a lot of buildings are very critical to the success of your city. I have a lot of connections here. I have more recycle centers here so I can keep up on all the messes, and I have a golf course here. You get that when you get big enough. So I always put it in a suburb to make it look more realistic. I have a stock exchange because the city's big enough to support that. And you know, I'm almost to, you get big enough, you get a spaceport. But yeah, I have an amusement park there. You get a few special gifts. This hospital here was expensive, but it brings in commercial demand. So really what it comes down to, you just got to know what you're doing. Infrastructure, you got to have the seaports, the airports, the railways, the roads. And you got to connect. I connect all the airports and seaports to the rails, and I put bus stops by the airports because they use them there. They don't use, so the tricky is buses don't work at industrial zones, only rails do. So you got to connect them with the rails, and I use above ground rails there, but I use subways everywhere else. Alright, I'm probably going to run out of memory, so let me just zoom out. So yeah, this is how you build a city. I'm working on it, and I've been doing this a lot. I'm really good at this game. I've been playing it for decades. Alright.